I always thought my life was simple, not boring, just predictable in a comforting kind of way. After 25 years of marriage, you develop a rhythm. You know each other's patterns, moods, little quirks. Sophia and I had ours. Morning coffee, a quick check-in call during lunch, dinner together, and wine after the evening news. Nothing extravagant, nothing groundbreaking, but it was ours. And I believed it worked. At least, I thought it did. With both our kids off at college, the house had grown quieter, sometimes too quiet, but we filled the silence with each other. Little jokes, passing touches, old stories we told 100 times. I honestly believed she knew me better than anyone. Maybe I relied on that belief too much. Then one Thursday evening, we were sitting on the couch just like always. The TV was on but muted, the remote in her hand. Out of nowhere, she turned to me and said, "Can I ask you something without you freaking out?" I chuckled, thinking it was one of her random questions. She usually started the weird ones like that. "Sure," I said, curious. She gave a small, nervous laugh. "I mean it. Just hear me out, okay?" I nodded. "Go ahead." She hesitated only for a moment and then asked, "What would you think about opening our marriage?" At first, I thought she was joking. I laughed, expecting her to crack a smile. But she didn't. Her face held this frozen, expectant look. I blinked at her. "Wait, what do you mean by that?" Sophia turned fully toward me, arms crossed, like a hall pass. Or maybe something we do together, just once. Nothing serious. Just explore. That word, explore, hit me like poison. "You're serious," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm not saying we have to do it," she replied quickly. "Just talk about it." My heart was racing, but I tried not to show it. Where is this coming from? She looked away for a second. "I've just been thinking. We've been together a long time, Bruce, and I love you. You know I do, but maybe we gotten too used to each other." "You mean you're bored?" I said flatly. "That's not what I said," she answered, but the meaning hung there anyway. I want to feel something different. Not with someone else instead of you. With you. I want to experience this with you." I couldn't even meet her eyes. I stared at the television, at nothing really, trying to stay calm. That night, I lay awake, eyes locked on the ceiling while she slept beside me like nothing had changed. But everything had. She'd said, "Open our marriage." The phrase circled in my head like a song you can't shake off. We'd made it through so much. Kids, jobs, health scares, the day-to-day way of life. And now she wanted to explore like we were college freshmen playing with boundaries. I gave it a few days. I hoped she'd bring it up again, maybe say she'd been joking or that she'd had too much wine. But she didn't. She acted like the conversation never happened. Like she hadn't just detonated a grenade in our living room. By Sunday, I couldn't keep it in anymore. We were in the kitchen, doing dishes. I shut the dishwasher a little too hard. And she looked up. "You okay?" she asked. "No," I said honestly. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed again. "It's still bothering you." "Of course it is." I snapped. "You asked me if we could sleep with other people. Sophia, that's not something I just brush off. It was just an idea," she said defensively. "We don't have to turn it into a huge thing." "Not a huge thing?" I stepped closer. "You suggested bringing someone else into our marriage. After 25 years. That's not a passing thought, Sophia. That's a goddamn earthquake." Her eyes narrowed. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said, trying to keep it together. "I'm being honest. You want me to be okay with watching you be with someone else? Or worse, pretending I'm into it?" "That's not what I said. You said we could experience it together. What does that even mean?" She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "People do it, Bruce. It's not the end of the world. For me it is." She looked at me, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't recognize what I saw in her face. And then she said something that made my skin go cold. "You're just afraid of change." That was when I knew something inside her had shifted, or maybe it had been shifting for a while, and I just hadn't noticed. I wanted to believe this was a phase, midlife restlessness, the quiet house messing with her head. But things started feeling different. Her phone buzzed more often. She started dressing up just to go out for errands, perfume, hair done, gym visits that didn't leave her sweaty. And that smile, the private kind, like she had a secret. I didn't want to snoop. I swear I didn't. But one night, she fell asleep on the couch and her laptop was open. Her profile was still logged in, not her real name, just a shadow icon and a username that included our wedding date. I clicked. Swinger forums, private groups, messages to strangers, liking posts about partner swaps, group events. And the messages, God, they were explicit. Then I saw it. See you Saturday night. Can't wait to meet in person. Saturday, 2 days away. She had plans. She had already decided. She didn't tell me until that night. I was in the kitchen, pouring a drink, trying not to lose it. She came in wearing a red dress I hadn't seen in years, hair perfect, nails fresh. She was glowing. Big night? I asked calmly as I could. She smiled. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something. I waited. There's a party tonight. Something a little different. Private, just for couples. Open-minded people. I kept my voice steady. What kind of party? She smiled again. A swingers party. I blinked, pretending I hadn't just read the invite 2 nights ago. A what? A swinger party. She said again like she was talking about a book club. I was going to bring it up eventually. I wanted to invite you. To watch you with someone else? I asked, my voice tight. She rolled her eyes. Come on, Bruce. Don't be so dramatic. It's just a party. It's not cheating if we both agree. You already agreed, I said. You made plans before even telling me. She crossed her arms. Because I knew how you'd react. Damn right I'd react this way. Because we're partners, or at least I thought we were. You don't just spring this on me and expect me to smile and go along. You're stuck in some old mindset, she snapped. People do this. It's supposed to bring couples closer. I took a breath, heart pounding. Is that what you really believe? She held my gaze. Yes, and I want to try it with you. A long silence followed. And then I said, if you walk out that door tonight, if you go to that party, we're done. No coming back. No talking it over later. Done. She stared at me like she couldn't believe I meant it. You're serious. More than ever. She let out a slow breath, looked down, then walked right past me, grabbed her purse, didn't say another word. I stood there in the kitchen, hands on the counter, watching the door close behind her. And just like that, the silence returned. But this time, it felt permanent. I didn't move. I just sat there in the dark, tried to figure out when I stopped seeing her clearly. When did things begin to change? Was it this year? Last year? 5 years ago? I couldn't say. At 1:42 in the morning, I heard the garage door creak open. Her car. She came home. But I didn't go to meet her. I didn't ask where she'd been or how it went. I didn't want to know. I listened instead. The sharp tap of her heels on the hardwood. The soft jingle of keys as they landed in the bowl by the door. The fridge opened, then shut. A water bottle. A glass placed on the counter. Then silence. She walked past the living room like she was coming back from a regular errand. Still up? She asked casually, like nothing was wrong. I didn't answer. She lingered for a beat, hoping for a response. When I gave her nothing, she let out a quiet sigh, like I was the unreasonable one, and headed down the hallway to our bedroom. I sat there for what felt like hours. I couldn't sleep. My body was still, but my mind raced. Eventually, I picked up my phone, not really looking for anything, just something to occupy my hands. Out of habit, I opened the photo gallery. Old pictures. Us. The kids when they were small. Birthdays. Beach days. Even that dinner we had in Rome. Moments frozen in time. Back when things felt whole. Then I saw it, a video file. No name, just a timestamp. 2 hours ago. My chest tightened. The phone had synced automatically to the cloud. She had forgotten it was still linked to mine. The thumbnail was enough to raise the alarm. A dimly lit hotel room. Red ambient lighting. a wine bottle, half in view, and her arm, unmistakable with a bracelet I gave her on our 15th anniversary. I felt something twist in my gut. I tapped play. Her face filled the screen, close to the camera, smiling and laughing, voice slightly slurred, flirtatious. "Film this for me," she said to someone behind the phone. "I want to remember it." She backed away. And then the rest came into view. 3 shirtless men surrounding her, touching her like she was a prize. She welcomed it, kissed one, then another, whispered something to the third that made him grin, and pulled her closer. She looked radiant, vibrant, more alive than I'd seen her in years. And not once did she look like someone who was holding on to a life back home. I stopped the video before it finished. I couldn't bear to see more. I just sat in that quiet room, screen black in my hand, heart heavier than it had ever been. She hadn't just made a mistake. She hadn't just cheated. She recorded herself doing it, gleefully, proudly, and unknowingly handed me the evidence like it was some vacation memory. That was no accident. That was a choice. The next morning, I came out of the guest room. I hadn't slept, just stared at the ceiling all night. Sophia was in the kitchen, humming as she made coffee like she'd just come back from a spa weekend. When she saw me, she smiled, slid a mug across the counter. "Morning," she said. "I figured we could take a drive later. Maybe lunch by the lake." I didn't answer. I just looked at her. The smile faded a little. "What?" she asked, quieter now. I sat down, placed my phone on the table. "Sit," I said. She hesitated, then obeyed. For a moment, something flickered in her eyes. Recognition. The cloud. The sync. The video. But it was too late. I opened it. Played it full screen. She didn't say a word as it played. Just watched herself, laughing, undressing, being touched, being wanted, like none of it mattered. Like none of US did. Her voice. Her body. Her joy. Given freely to strangers. When it ended, I locked the screen and looked at her. "I didn't know it would upload," she whispered. "I don't care," I said. "You still went. You still did it. And you smiled while you did." She started crying, reached for my hand. I pulled away. "I made a mistake," she said. "I just wanted something new. I didn't mean to hurt you." "No," I said. "You didn't make a mistake. You made a plan." She got up, started pacing, babbling about feeling lost, disconnected, unsure of who she was. Said we could fix it. Therapy. A fresh start. I asked her one question. "Then why were you smiling?" She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I stood, calm now, detached. "I'm done." She blocked my way, desperate. "Please don't do this. We have a family. A life. You can't throw it all away over one night." "You threw it away when you left this house," I said, walking past her. She called after me, cried, begged, but I didn't look back. I drove that night. Nowhere in particular. Just miles of road under the tires and dark sky above. My phone buzzed over and over. Texts, calls, voicemails. All from her. Apologies. Please. Empty promises. The one that stuck, it didn't mean anything. But I'd seen the video. Seen her smile. Seen the way she touched them like it did mean something. Something more than me. More than us. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I parked at the edge of a quiet park we used to take the kids to. I sat in the car and watched the street lights sway in the breeze. Then I picked up my phone and sent her one final message. "There's nothing left to talk about. I'll be filing in the morning." Then I blocked her number. It felt like coming up for air after drowning for years. The next day, I followed through, walked into my lawyer's office with a flash drive in hand. That video said everything I couldn't. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted peace. I canceled our credit cards, changed the locks, packed up her belongings, and set them outside. When she came home and saw it, she didn't say a word, just picked up what she could and left. I told the kids we'd talk when they were ready. Told my sister. Told Marcus, my closest friend. I wasn't hiding. This wasn't my shame to carry. She came back 2 days later. Stood at the screen door, looking worn down. "Bruce," she said, voice raw. I panicked. I didn't know how to talk to you. I nodded. That would have been a good place to start. She wiped her face. I thought if I did something wild, I'd feel alive again. And did you? I asked. No, I just feel sick. She looked past me into the house. Can I come in? I shook my head. Not anymore. She stepped back like I'd hit her. What about the kids? They'll know, and they'll decide for themselves. She tried to say something else, but I closed the door. That was the last time she stood on my porch. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. Quick, brutal. She cried in mediation, tried to delay it so we could fix it, but that video erased every excuse. It was undeniable. We split the assets. I kept the house. She moved into a condo near the freeway. I didn't ask how she was paying for it. Didn't care. The kids struggled at first, but they understood. I never spoke ill of her. They made up their own minds. Time passed. The house got quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. I started walking more, eating outside, finding moments to breathe. One day, I caught myself laughing, a real laugh. It surprised me. One afternoon, while taking out the trash, Dean, my neighbor, stopped me. Hey, Bruce, can I say something? I nodded. It's about Sophia. Before everything, I used to see her leaving a lot during the day. Sometimes she got picked up by a guy in a black car. Same guy, a couple times a week. I didn't think much of it then, but after the divorce, he looked uncomfortable. I should have said something. I didn't want to interfere. You didn't do anything wrong, I said. And just like that, something inside me settled. It wasn't just that night at the hotel. She had been living a separate life for a long time. The party was just when she stopped hiding it.